one more time through Season 9. We're going to put the Gen 4 cars around iRacing's Darlington, and it's Kentucky and Missouri on the front row. Noah Belleville in the 41. The 29 of Briley Wright will accompany him on the right side by side, for 123 laps. At Darlington, we are racing in the final. And it's Kentucky's Briley Wright who leads lap number 1. The season champion Noah Belleville wants to go to his left-hand side. And the 29 still leads. In third place, Brooklyn's Nick Pressey in that red and green 94 follows the top two. And the New York pilot sits behind that 41 Dodge. And the 29 Chevy continues to lead. Tom Sears running in the 4th position. Looks like Toby Estes makes a little bit of contact with the wall in that number 8. Kevin Feemster behind him in a special livery. He said he's pulling this one out for the final tonight. Looks like a custom DeWalt scheme. That's pretty special. That is actually pretty cool. And the 17 car sits just ahead of the Virginian Tommy Withers. He's going to come out of turn number 4 and decide to scrape the wall. The Season 4 champion, Thomas Andrews, sits behind him. Andrews now wants to go to the inside. Withers makes contact. Will he stay off the wall? He doesn't collect Honey Brink. And Tommy Withers by himself, making a huge mess out on the racetrack. He goes again. Richie Catania's in the wall this time. And he almost collects Ryan Pennell in the Georgia Bulldogs machine. Pennell gives him a tap into turn number 3, and Ryan Pennell picks up a dent on the left front. Pennell behind the 6-0 of Tommy Withers. 5 laps into this race already. It's been a really exciting time. Drivers earning their Darlington stripes out there. Ryan Pennell behind him. The Bahamian Elridge George sits quietly tucked away, and rookie Colin McDonough brings up the rear. Matt Seeger started in 14th, already up to 10th and working on Richie Catania. Let's go on board. And the battle continues. Matt Seeger now moves up into the 9th position. John Honeybrink sits in 8th. Andrews in 7th, and up the running order it goes. The Thursday Night Thunder champion for this season comes into this race with 10 wins in 16 starts. This guy is unbelievable. Noah Belleville, who mercifully is going off to school next year. He's going to college, and he's going to leave the rest of these guys alone to compete for their own championship. Belleville has wrapped up this title in impressive fashion, and now it's the fight for 3rd. These are the points coming into this race. Briley Wright and Matt Seeger are tied for 3rd in the points with 567 markers. Matt Seeger right now obviously winning the tiebreaker coming into this race, but basically whoever finishes ahead of the other guy will win 3rd place and the prize money that comes with it. Matt Seeger running in 9th, Briley Wright running in 10th. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. Seeger and Wright fighting it out for third. Nick Pressey following closely behind Briley Wright. Let's go on board with the 94. Well, briefly go on board as Nick Pressey now gets around Briley Wright, so Wright will now chase in the 2.9. And the 9.4 car just breaking away from that 2.9. Toby Estes into the number 8 Budweiser machine. It's rare that that car is going to make an appearance, but here he is nonetheless in those famous Daytona 500 winning colors. 7/10 away from the podium. Tom Sears running in the 6th position. 6/10 behind Kevin Feemster. The Indiana driver's into the wall. Here comes the 2-time champion to the inside. Feemster still on the wall trying to stay away from the 14 and the 17 ahead of the 2. Season 4 champion Thomas Andrews kind of on an island, half a second away from Feemster, half a second away from Honeybrink. And not a lot of drivers really breaking away from each other as well. Shout out Mama Vols, who's in the chat. And shout out my man, Repeat 1975. It's been a while since I spoke to the man. Pete, I hope everything is well. Send my love to the family. And I hope those plans have been working out for you there. And he's a big congratulations from Repeat 1975 to Noah. And for those that don't know, or if you're new to Rick James TV or Sim Racing or my channel or whatever, Repeat 1975 is the man that put me in this seat. So everything that you like about this stream, everything that if you've ever interacted with my channel and you've enjoyed anything about the interaction with my channel, Repeat 1975 is the reason. So shout out to my brother Pete. Shout out to Pete's family. I hope everything and everybody is going okay. Shout out Mama Vols as well as we close season 9. Just gotta give a shout out to the day ones. You know what I'm saying? So Mama Vols, she's been there since day one. I hope Terry's family's doing okay as well. Tanner Lockhart also as well. He was up there earlier in the chat, and it's those special people that make all this possible. And obviously the racing's exciting. That's why we're here. We love to watch racing, but definitely you can't do this without the people that keep you going. So a big shout out to all my day ones and everybody that's ever interacted with this channel. Hopefully we keep on doing the sim racing thing the way we love to do it for a very long time. But we'll talk more about that. The racing's getting closer. The drivers are now 16 laps on these tires, and we're going to see who still has the magic and who's going to let it slip. Maybe the 2-4 of Richie Catania knows something that everybody else doesn't. The lady in black hasn't claimed any victims just yet. A little bit of drama, a little bit of contact between drivers, but nothing that a cold beer and a conversation couldn't handle. Repeat right now up enjoying New York State, I should say, and staying in an interesting Verbo, I'm sure. Love you, pal. Catania getting up close behind Seeger. This is Matt Seeger's second year in Thursday Night Thunder, and if you've seen a couple of races this season, Matt's sister Emily is a huge fan and cheers him on every single race. And normally on Thursday nights, we always talk about what football game is on. I haven't even opened my Prime app, but that's what I'm going to do. Let me open my Prime app and let me see what game is on right now. Rams and 49ers. All right, let me turn the volume down. I'm not trying to get banned over this. Meanwhile, I'm trying to turn on a football game, and I'm totally not paying attention to the race as per usual. There's a change for the lead going on here. By the way, it's 3-0 49ers. Nick Pressey to the left-hand side of Noah Belleville. This for the first position. Toby Estes says, not so fast, you two. Pressey's in the wall. He loses control. Toby Estes now moves into the second position, and he starts his attack on the 41. Estes to the left-hand side, and he won't make it stick that time around. The rain is coming down extremely heavy in what I think is San Francisco. There's Miss Emily with a heart in the chat. Shout out to the Shotgun Clan. That's what they used to call him on Xbox, right? Matt Seeger I'm talking about. They used to call him ENEA Shotgun. You remember when we were on Xboxes? You remember your gamer tag? What? Think back. If you remember your gamer tag on Xbox, put it in the chat and tell me what it was. Silly or crazy or whatever the hell it is. Obviously, you know, don't make it anything crazy, but or if you still got one, put yours in the chat. But yeah, what was that? It's like we all had that one embarrassing email. You know what I mean? That when we first created that email account, that one ridiculous sounding email that you wouldn't use now, but who knows? Big congratulations from our leader's family to his leader. Talking about the race leader, Noah Belleville. With a big congrats from Mama Moldy. Mama Vol's in the house as well, joined by another matriarch, and this time Mama Moldy was sending huge congratulations to the man from DeSoto, Missouri. Wrapped up that Thursday Night Thunder Championship in style. And when I say in style, he comes into this race 10 wins. Out of 16. This is the 16th race. He may come away with 11 wins and 16 starts. We love this kid to hell and back. I promise you that we do. Noah Belleville is an incredibly great friend of ours. And he's not going to stop racing with us, absolutely. But as he moves on to bigger and better things next year, Noah Belleville's not going to have as much time to run Thursday Night Thunder. So he's not going to have the chance to defend his championship as plans currently stand. And we are all grateful for that. We're so thankful for that because we want to see more than one driver win everything. And even on Rick James TV, he's winning the IndyCar races on Tuesday as well. This guy is an unbelievably talented sim racer. As far as we are concerned, he is the winningest Thursday Night Thunder driver of all time. And he has the most wins in a single season of Thursday Night Thunder. It's unbelievable what he's put together in this season. And all because we teased him about it, mind you. We kept picking at him. We said, Moldy, why aren't you going to run a full season? Moldy, how come you can never run a full season? Do you know you would win a championship if you run a full season? And me specifically, I kept poking him and turning the screw. And next thing you know, he shows up and he completely destroys every record book that you can do so in a single year, except for all-time championships. That goes to Aiden Norman. But I have no doubt in my mind, if Noah Belleville kept racing Thursday Night Thunder the way he does now, he would end up winning more championships than Aiden Norman. However, that's not the case, so we'll never know. But obviously, and Aiden knows I'm messing with him too. But much love to Aiden, much love to Noah. It has been a thrill. I'm trying to be smart about it, but there's no other way to say it. It's been a thrill to watch him just torch and rip up every record that's set before him. And if he can put his mind to something as silly as sim racing like this and do well, it's unbelievable what he's going to do onward. So shout out to Noah Belleville. Much love to him and his family. And what a season it's been. Briley Wright trying to ruin his celebration party. The Kentucky pilot sits right behind Noah Belleville, and some smoke comes out of that 41 as he maybe makes a little bit of contact with the outside wall. 5 laps approximately until they come down for fuel. 30 to 40 laps is the expected fuel window for these guys. It says 4 tire changes on the board. Late race audible that we called here. We decided to give them 1 more. So drivers will have 5 total tire changes, and they won't make it to 35 laps? No, they will. Just really running the low side. And you notice drivers are starting to get further and further to the inside of the racetrack. Maybe they're building a line down there with how close they're cutting it. Watch the line that the 2.9 and the 4.1 are going to take. Watch through 3 and 4. Keep an eye on the 41, who's starting to break away, by the way. Half a second's the gap. Look at how low he dips under that yellow line. Well, and this time he's actually coming into the pits. Briley Wright coming in behind him, and a big blink from the 2.9. There's Briley Wright. Kevin Feemster will join them as well. Toby Estes also coming into the pits in the Budweiser machine. New leader, your Season 4 champion, Thomas Andrews in the number 2 machine, and Richie Catania, your first ever Thursday Night Thunder race winner, running in the 2nd position. Sophomore Matt Seeger from the Peach State in Georgia, running in 3rd, and then one of the hometown favorites, Mr. Ryan Pennell, from right here, right from Darlington, South Carolina. And legend says that Ryan came out of the minnow pond one day and fell in love with racing. See if we can we can't get a shot of the minnow pond, can we? But somewhere out behind the racing turn 4 stands of this simulator is a minnow pond that explains why this racetrack is the shape it is, as many of us know. And local Darlington legend says that one day a boy just walked out of the minnow pond, walked right into the racetrack, and he never left. And that boy grew up to be Ryan Pennell. And somehow, throughout all of this legend, the man from South Carolina ends up being a fan of the Georgia Bulldogs. Who the hell knows? Not me. That's just the story. And it's lived on for a long time now. The Georgia fan with Uga on the hood runs in 2nd behind your Season 4 champion. Elrich George, the Bahamian. How many nicknames has this guy racked up over his 9 seasons of TNT? The Clearwater Assassin, the Bahama Bullet, the man from Nassau, the Caribbean Killer, whatever you want to call him. He runs in 3rd right now on his trademark long-run fuel strategy, and it hasn't worked for him yet, but one of these days, he's going to get lucky with that caution that comes out and puts him in a winning position toward the end of the race. I think he's won a couple of races on Xbox and TNT, but since Season 4, since the iRacing era began, I don't think Elrich George has won a Thursday Night Thunder race. This guy has. John Honeybrink in the NVIDIA machine. The 2.0, he won Talladega Season 5 in Talladega fashion, surviving a last lap crash. There's your new leader, Elrich George, as the pit stops cycle through. He ended up making it past the drip die-cast pit window. Well, at least further into it than anybody else, I should say. 35 laps on this tank of fuel. Expect the Bahamian to come in this time by. And he won't. Last time around on the clock, Elrich George, 31:45. Noah Belleville, 29:64. 1.8 seconds the difference between Noah Belleville and Elrich George. 17 seconds right now, their overall gap. And Nick Pressey sticking with Belleville. Briley Wright 3 seconds off the pace. And I'm going to guess that's down to the attack of pit lane. Although Briley's spending 5 seconds fewer than his competition. George is in. The Bahamian leads some laps. Noah Belleville will come around turn number 4, leading Nick Pressey by 0.8 of a second. He will reclaim the top spot. Meanwhile, back in Indiana, there's a guy in a chair that's trying to chase a guy from Kentucky, Kevin Feemster, in that 17, working on Toby Estes in the 8. Those of you with an eye on the NFL game, Rams are still down 3 to the 49ers with 11:20-something counting down in the second quarter. And it is raining harder than I've ever seen it this season right now in San Francisco. Packed house. They still call that Levi's Stadium. They still call that place. The fight for 5th place continues. Feemster versus Honeybrink. Tom Sears, 0.2 of a second behind. I'm sorry, Feemster versus Estes. Tom Sears, 0.2 of a second behind John Honeybrink. And the Massachusetts pilot moves to the inside in the Western Mass Mechanical Contractors Toyota Supra. It's a mouthful. Withers and Pinnell will exchange places. The Virginian in the Mark Martin Winn-Dixie Ford now slots behind the 1-2. In the 2-4 DuPont machine, just ahead of Thomas Andrews is Richie Catania just trying to hold on. Andrews went purple a couple of laps ago, and he's trying to snatch 8th place away. Thomas Andrews on the outside of John Honeybrink. That's for the 8th spot, and he's still chasing down Richie Catania. Further up, Toby Estes stays ahead of Kevin Feemster. And I want to take a look at the stint lengths that these drivers had last time around. There you see Noah Belleville, 31 laps, and the majority of the top 5 going 31 laps. Tom Sears, on the other hand, 27 laps on his first stint. You see Catania and Andrews, they went further. This is going to vary by some laps, and what that's going to end up meaning for some of these drivers. Some guys are looking to do 3 stops. Some guys might be looking to stretch it out eventually. And, of course, the great ruiner is the caution flag. There's been a lot of tight battles, and, of course, this racetrack just snatches out and grabs people like it just did Kevin Feemster. And he's going to avoid the wall that time, but Kevin. Now is a nice little stripe on the right side of that DeWalt Ford. Tom Sears earning stripes of his own on the outside of Richie Catania. That's 6th place. And Tom Sears now trying to stay off the wall even more. 3 championships running 7th and 8th. Thomas Andrews in the 2. Look at how low Thomas Andrews is getting into turn number 1. The line just keeps creeping on down further and further. Rookie Colin McDonough, 1 lap off the pace. He's going to get back onto the track and get onto racing speed. Tommy Withers right now the lucky dog. If the caution comes out, he gets his lap back. Briley Wright will go to his inside, not for position, but right now moves into 3rd. Briley Wright, 0.8 behind Nick Pressey, who's running in second, and Noah Belleville breaking out to another one of those leads that you expecting to bore us all with his talent, with his skill, and just how much faster he is than everybody else. It's unbelievable what he can do, and you start to see the same pattern. The Coca-Cola machine to the left side of the Western Mass Mechanical Contractors Toyota Supra. That is a workout to say. In any case, no matter how you say it, Matt Seeger moves into 8th, up 6 places from where he started. And again, if you didn't catch it at the beginning of the race, this guy and that guy, Briley Wright in the 2.9 Good Wrench machine, whoever finishes ahead of the other, finishes 3rd in the points and ends up winning money. How simple is that? Beat the other guy and you get money. You get prize money for finishing 3rd in the championship. Briley Wright in motion, in 3rd, trying to do one better, get around Nick Pressey, who sits in 2nd. Further on back, Thomas Andrews to the left side of Ricardo Catania. The 2-4 from Florida now loses a spot, 6th and 7th swapping places. Thomas Andrews not giving up that fight. Neither is Richie Catania, and Matt Seeger says room for one more. He wants to make this a fun threesome. 51 laps into this race. How about that kind of a tail whip off Thomas Andrews? He shakes that 2 car right off of turn number 2. And the man sponsored by Drip Diecast and Collectibles keeps it moving. I think we've got a couple of cars tonight sponsored by Drip Diecast and Collectibles. As you expect, Thomas Andrews and then Nick Pressey with the Drip Diecast logo on the left-hand side. That store has kept us moving as well. Oh, there's huge contact. The 2.9, the 9.4, the 1.4 avoids it all. John Honeybrink just gets around them, and that's got to be a caution. 54 laps into this race. Yellow flag will fly at Darlington. First caution on lap 54. Nick Pressey, Briley Wright. And that's a little bit more than a tap and less than a punt, but enough to turn the 94 180. And Nick Pressey looking at the racetrack from a completely different perspective. We'll see what happened. All right, watch this. Yep, Briley Wright looks like he just gets a little bit too close to the back end of Nick Pressey. How about John Honeybrink avoiding all of that? One more look. See if we can get the look from the sky here. See if we can zoom in a little. Oh, yeah, there's contact there for sure. Let's run that back. Take one more look. See if we can get in real close. Watch the back end of the 94 just lift. There's the contact. And Pressey's going to go for a spin. And watch John Honeybrink almost make contact with car 94. On board with Pressey. So caution comes out on lap 54. Nick Pressey will get some of that damage repaired. Noah Belleville will leave the pits as your race leader. Everybody comes down on lap 55, and well, they can go 30 laps, 30 to 35 laps from here. So your next pit window is going to be between laps 80 and 90. And with 125 laps on offer, well, no, they're going to save fuel because they have a few laps under caution as well. This becomes a one-stop race to the end, and it's going to be very close on fuel, especially if it goes green. If they get one more caution before the end of this race, you can guarantee it'll be a one-stop race to the end from here. So yeah, we're under caution here. Let's see if we can take a look at the score for that 49ers game. 49ers playing at home, and it looks like they're trying to just get out of their own, just get at least past the 20-yard line, and the Rams defense holding up tough. Lights are out on top of the pace car, which means we're going to go green this time by. It's going to be Missouri versus Kentucky on the front row, just like we started this race. Noah Belleville on the left-hand side, Toby Estes on the right-hand side, and Toby's been doing some racing of his own, go-kart racing of his own in his hometown of Greensburg, Kentucky. He's been doing pretty well for his hometown folks and trying to do good on the dirt track and now trying to do good on the sim track as well. So we're going to restart here, completing lap number 56 of the scheduled 123. It's 3rd and 11 for the 49ers on their own 21-yard line. And we're not going green. Caution's been waved off. And it's now going to be 4th down for the 49ers as the caution is waved off. So the yellow flag for the 49ers and yellow flag for the field once again. And maybe going green this time by. I have no clue. We're going to find out, aren't we? Pace car's back out, but the lights are not on, so we've got to be going green this time by. And the lights are not on top of the pace car, so we are going green this time by just when we got ready for some more racing, and they said, hang on just a minute. As I drop my phone on top of my keyboard, don't worry, I have full control of what I'm doing, obviously. So we're going green this time by then. Let's see. Noah Belleville, Toby Estes, side by side. Lockhart cheering for Seeger, who's just right next to Briley Wright. 3rd place prize money on the line. Green flag is out, and they're stacking up behind him. Catania spun the tires. Feemster's in the wall. He's trying to avoid everybody. What happened here? The 17 struggles to get going at the front. Noah Belleville just creates a gap between him and Nick Pressey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 41, 94, 8, 29, 59 laps complete at the Darlington Raceway, and 8/10 back to Matt Seeger. 3rd place on the line. Prize money, prestige on the line. Seeger and Wright. And whoever finishes ahead of the other guy gets the spot. Briley Wright with some heavy damage on the front. Kevin Feemster. Look at these. Who's fanning out here? Thomas Andrews with huge damage on the front of his machine in the Season 4 champion. That's really going to affect how the car drives, obviously, and we'll see if he can hold on to this one. Tom Sears trying to stay off the wall, and it's chaos after the restart. Kevin Feemster working on Ryan Pannell with a big tail whip out of turn number 2. Feemster's also dented. Is there anybody that didn't get damage on this most recent restart? John Honeybrick now picks up more than a Darlington stripe. What in the hell is going on here? Elridge George trying to avoid the 2-0, and he shall. Oh, Lord, these guys need to get it together. Some positivity. Richie Catania goes green in the 6th position. Tom Sears behind him. And the 2-4 DuPont Chevrolet by himself, making 0 contact with anybody else. And the DuPont Chevrolet by himself. And the DuPont Chevrolet. My goodness. What's going on here? There we go. You know when you click the same button 3 times and nothing happens? I keep trying to find Richie's car, and there he's just... The camera's not going anywhere. I'll tell you what, it's not a Rick James broadcast if something doesn't go wrong, where I'm trying to click the button 40 times, and nothing works. So 64 laps in. We finally get our first technology hiccup. Anyway, Tom Sears now picking up the pace behind him. And Noah Belleville fighting for his spot out front. Nick Pressey gets to the inside. The drip diecast machine moves to the left-hand side of the target Dodge. Side by side for first place. Toby Estes behind them. Briley Wright running in 4th. And Matt Seeger in that 5th position. Still fighting with some technological gremlins. We're going to get this worked out, don't worry. The racing will continue. Whether I'm still on the mic or not, I promise you the racing will keep going on. We're going to fight these technical demons as long as we have to. Lockhart saying, love to see some challengers for Belleville, even if it's just temporary. Yeah, I mean, but you love to see the season go out with a challenge here. This is exactly what we want to see. The 94, the 8, the 29, the usual suspects up towards the front contending for a win. And we're going to get some fireworks before this one's over. Especially from Nick Pressey, because he can't stay off that wall. So Toby Estes will go to his port side. The 2-9 of Briley Wright, with damage on the front, nonetheless, moves up into 2nd. You've got 2 of our 3 Bluegrass Bandits running 2nd and 3rd. And Ryan Pennell now trying to move on the 2 car. More action back here. Tommy Withers, Thomas Andrews, Ryan Pennell running 8th, 9th, and 10th. The Bulldogs machine sitting just on the cusp of the top 10. Tom Sears a lap off the pace, but he is the lucky dog. He sits behind Kevin Feemster. And I want to go back to the restart here and keep an eye on Richie Catania's machine. Does he check up? Does he spin? Oh, I think he just checked up. I don't think Richie spun the tires. I think he just accelerated too early. And what happened to Kevin Feemster as well? He grabbed a lot of wall on the restart. Keep your eye on that gray and black car, 2nd in line on your left. Oh, he spun something, or was there contact there? Did Matt Seeger get into him? Right on board. Yeah, no contact there. Kevin Feemster just got into the wall. Tom Sears trying to stay in that lucky dog position, while Kevin Feemster rolls behind Richie Catania, and the race for the lead persists. Toby Estes with a tail whip out of 4. Nick Pressey starting to lose some of that close gap he's got to the top 2. And Matt Seeger turns up the pressure. Second place in the championship, almost spoken for. That almost goes to Nick Pressey. Third in the championship is wide open. The 2.9, the 1.6, running 4th and 5th. And this is a race for some prize money between them, so we're going to see what happens. Let's go back to the DuPont Chevrolet. The DuPont Chevrolet, one more time. Richie Catania. These buttons are sticky. Maybe they don't work. I have no idea. Something's just not going on here. But anyway, finally we get back to the DuPont Chevrolet. See how many times I have to say that tonight. He sits ahead of Kevin Feemster, who's not doing himself any favors. You just saw Kevin getting more of the wall. What does the right side of that race car look like? Somebody should tell Kevin that he can't wall ride. That's not going to help him. And there Kevin goes. Nobody listens to me. Kevin continues to wall ride, and he sits in 7th. Somebody really should give him some tips and tell him to stay off the wall. How hard can it be? Let's be honest. Ryan Pennell is not running on the wall, and he just advanced a position ahead of Tommy Withers. Will the Virginian try the crossover out of 4? Briley Wright just ahead of Matt Seeger, and Noah Belleville cannot rest. There is no break for this guy right here. If he wants his 11th win, he's going to have to work for it, and Toby Estes is the man to give him that work. Nick Pressey will not pause despite the tail whip coming out of turn number 4. He keeps on moving along. And then it's 8/10 back to the other Bluegrass Bandit, Briley Wright, who's going high. Matt Seeger goes low. Seeger doesn't mount a charge yet. I wonder if Seeger is trying to get closer or maybe just stay behind Briley, force Briley to save up his stuff, or if Matt Seeger is expecting this race to go green, stay behind the 2.9. Draft what you can from that 2.9. Save your fuel. Guarantee enough to go to the end. And, of course, nobody listens to me. So Matt Seeger's going to go to the left-hand side, and he's going to try and overtake Briley Wright. He does get around the 29, and the Georgia Pilot's in 4th, right to the left-hand side, and he will not make it. Stick up 10 places from where he started. Not only is he the hard charger of the race thus far, he's up to 4th, and he's only a second away from the podium. Tommy Withers just pitted on lap 75. He rejoins the race. 2 laps off the pace, fighting John Honeybrink for the 12th position, and Honeybrink decides that he's going to come in. Toby Estes sits ahead of Nick Pressey by 1/10. Let's go on board with Nick. Let's go on board with Nick. There it is. Tommy Withers just sailed by Nick Pressey like he wasn't even there. The 60 car just with fresh tires flying around the competition. That was awesome. I mean, he's 2 laps off the pace, but that was awesome. Toby Estes, half a second between Belleville, half a second between Pressey. Briley Wright wants a piece of that Coca-Cola machine. And instead, he's going to grab a piece of the wall. And that battle for 4th place is done. Briley, he smacked the hell out of the wall. That good. Is he going to do it again? No, thankfully he stays off the wall this time, but man, that looked like it hurt. Hopefully he hasn't knocked anything out of alignment, but both Briley Wright and Kevin Feemster are starting to look similar. Silver cars they continue to hit the wall. Why? Guys, stay off the wall. It's not good for the race car. More than 40 laps to go. And Richie Catania has destroyed the right side of that race car. I think he's missing a piece. Yeah, he's definitely missing a piece of that race car on the right side there, and he's going to hit the wall again. Kevin Feemster behind him. Richie, you can't park there. Hit the gas pedal. Move. Turning my favorite car into shambles. And Ryan Pennell, the man who came out of the Darlington minnow pond, is now going to take him over for the 7th position. Richie's going to get out of the way, and Ryan says, don't mind if I do. Meanwhile, 2nd place up for grabs. Toby Estes just trying to stay ahead of Nick Pressey. A quarter of a second is that difference. Ricky Catania decides he's coming in for tires, fuel, and to fix whatever else is going on with that race car because he decided to grind it against the safer barrier. Toby Estes, his race car, pristine. Noah Belleville and Nick Pressey, pristine race cars. They're in the top 3 right now. Briley Wright, less pristine, but it's still competitive. He's behind the 1-6. They're going to continue to do battle. Again, drivers expected to go approximately to lap 90, maybe 95 on this fuel run. So pit stops coming within the next 5 laps. I mean, the second round of pit stops has already started. As a matter of fact, Tommy Withers went green, by the way, that previous lap. 29:58, his best time so far. We'll show you your favorite driver's best time of the race. And to the best of my knowledge, Thomas Andrews has the fastest time of anybody here. 29:19, I believe he's quickest. He runs in 8th. Ryan Pennell in 7th. Matt Seeger and Briley Wright still locked, nose to tail, running in 4th. Fewer than 40 laps remain in Season 9 of Thursday Night Thunder. If you just tuned in, you've missed a little bit. There was quite a caution that happened earlier. Let's take a look. Check out Nick Pressey in that 94. He's going to be touched not by an angel, but by a guy from Kentucky. And Briley Wright will lift the back end of the drip die-cast machine. Tom Sears just gets away from it. And we're here, 88 laps into this race. Briley Wright still behind that 1-6. Let's go on board with the Kentucky pilot. .33 to go. Next time by, Toby Estes, Nick Pressey. They're into the pits. All eyes on Noah Belleville, who has, as it is no surprise, an unbelievable knack for attacking pit road beautifully. He comes into the pits at, look at that, 95. He's going to slow it all the way down. He gives it a shake coming into the pits. Did he speed? Did he speed coming into the pits? You see him going incredibly slow, 45 miles an hour. I think he was way faster than that on the way in. Georgia pilot Matt Seeger moving at 150 iRacing miles an hour. In the lead, Briley Wright a quarter of a second behind him, with third place on the line and the prize money that comes with it. 7/10 is the gap between getting paid and not. Wright is in. He can't speed. He's got to be smooth on the way into the pits. Matt Seeger, has he worked on his pit road attack? Has he worked on his pit road exit? This is the time for Seeger to maximize. He leads this race with what will soon be 30 laps to go. If you pit from here, you can make it to the end. He's in. Seeger is also in. It's going to be up to the Darlington native, Ryan Pennell. Will he take the lead in his Georgia Bulldogs machine? And it looks like Pennell is in as well. The 1-2 decides he's going to come in. How fast is he deciding to come into pit road? Oh, did he get it? Did he get it? Noah Belleville, he didn't speed. He's out there at 160 plus. He doesn't have to come back down to serve any sort of penalties. And the 41 on attack. Look at the gap back to Toby Estes. It's 1 second already with 30 laps to go as Belleville crosses that line. Matt Seeger still motionless. Noah Belleville, he's out of there. Seeger on his way out. What went on here? We're going to have to check this out. 52:35 total pit lane time. But yeah, just the attack of pit road is what does it, because you saw Matt Seeger coming into the pits at entering in turn 3, preparing to slow down in turn 3. Let's see if we can get one more look at Matt coming into the pits. There he is. And entering in turn 3. Meanwhile, if we take a look at Noah Belleville coming into the pits. Well, he's already here. See if we can get a better look at this. There we go. Belleville still on the track now. Half a corner later, he dives into the pits. And look at him just wiggle the car, trying not to speed in pit lane. That is the difference. Matt Seeger, did he get a penalty? He comes into the pits again. And maybe Matt Seeger sped. Who knows? There is third place. In the points, there is the money and the accolade that comes with it. Briley Wright, no penalty. He's fourth. Matt Seeger coming down again into the pits for what surely has to be some sort of speeding penalty. He will go a lap down. He may now struggle to finish in the top 10 in this race. And certainly a goal for Season 10 for Seeger. Attack pit lane. Attack pit lane. Briley Wright in third, and it's his points battle to lose now, as Tom Sears almost kills Nick Pressey off of turn number 2, but they keep it moving. Briley Wright and Matt Seeger tied for third in the points. 567 markers. And with fewer than 30 to go, are we in the final 25 yet? No, we will be after this next lap. Matt Seeger will rejoin the race in 11th, the third car a lap down. Good news is 10th place is just ahead of him, and Nick Pressey sits in 9th with the same problem. Was it another speeding penalty for car 94, the drip die-cast machine? Now with a mirror full of DuPont Chevrolet. There's another time I said it. Thomas Andrews. 1 second off the pace of Kevin Feemster and Noah Belleville, now with Toby Estes to deal with. This is going to be fun to watch. Half a second between them and 25 laps to go. Aaron Edwards says pain. Or is Aaron Edwards speaking French and he just said bread, because bread is fantastic? Either way, bread is fantastic, and it's pain for Matt Seeger, who now he gets into 9th respectively. Nick Pressey 1.5 seconds ahead, and Seeger's going to drive like a man possessed. I believe it. Good to go to the end, and he's got a lot to drive for here. Emily in the chat says, absolute misery. And somehow, Emily, I think you're talking about Matt and not this 49ers game. Although I haven't checked in on the score in a while. Let's see what's going on here. It's 3-3 in the second quarter, apparently. Noah Belleville, 0.6 of a second ahead of Toby Estes. Seeger, over the last 5 laps, hunting down Noah Belleville. And there's been the gap. Oh, it's halftime. Never mind. Pulled up the Prime app. It said second quarter, and the halftime show flashed up on the screen. Why can't Prime just say halftime, not just second quarter? Eight tenths at the front. Matt Seeger, my God, he almost wrecks the car. Colin McDonough kindly gets out of the way. Somebody needs to tell Matt there's still 22 laps to go, and no, he's going to put it into the wall. He wants that 8th place really, really bad. It is the lucky dog position. If a caution comes out, whoever's in 8th gets their lap back. Unless Ryan Pennell gets lapped, because there's Noah Belleville coming out of turn number 4. There's Ryan Pennell entering turn number 1. So that's not necessarily guaranteed. Matt Seeger trying to move up any way he can, though. 1 second the gap between them. Let's go on board with the 1-6. .20 to go, and Belleville's going to make it 1-9 at the line on the quest for his 11th win in 16 races. Toby Estes, 1 second behind him, and he's got damage on the right-hand side of that car, maybe pushing it too hard, and possibly Belleville starting to walk away with this one. Colin McDonough, he runs in the 10th position. He gets around John Honeybrink for that spot. Half a second is the difference between Nick Pressey and Matt Seeger, and Pressey has been watching that red Coca-Cola machine just creep up. Look at Matt Seeger throwing out tail whips like it's the X Games. He scares me. I really hope that he's not just going to throw this thing away coming out of turn 2 one of these times, but you just think he might. Let's go on board with the 1-6 machine. Watch the hand. See if he gives us another tail whip out of turn 2. Well, he won't have to, because Nick Pressey does the hard work for him, and the 94 just trying to save the race car. Matt Seeger keeping it nice and polite off of that second corner, and that was a rather anticlimactic battle for the 8th position, but Matt Seeger nonetheless in the lucky dog position. Ryan Pennell trying to overtake Thomas Andrews for 6th, and Toby Estes goes to the lead. Lap 106. What happened to the he blinked. Noah Belleville with a huge blink. When does he reappear? Still nothing. Finally, Noah Belleville reappears, and Toby Estes is now 1 1/3 seconds ahead. But Noah Belleville's not going to take that sitting down. Watch the numbers in the corner of your screen just tumble. On board with the 8 car. Belleville to the inside, and he says, come here. You saw that number. I told you, watch the number dwindle. It went from 9 to 3. Toby's going to go wide out of 4. Belleville's going to chase him down. The battle for the lead and what could just be the win. 8 on defense, 41 on offense. This little game of one-on-one is going to be really fun. Lucky number 13 laps to go, with tomorrow being Friday the 13th. Which one of these guys is going to go into tomorrow with a win to celebrate? Belleville in the 41. Estes in the 8. And Belleville's caught him, but now what does he do with him? He's going to try and do it around the outside. Does Estes have a defense? He does. They make heavy contact. Belleville's in the wall. Estes will keep it moving. Shades of Darlington 2003. Run that one back. Watch this again. How about that? Belleville trying it the hard way on the outside. Half a second the gap between them. Look at the contact there. And there's the half second. Noah Belleville continues to lead. Toby Estes continues to lead. He smacks the wall super hard. Noah Belleville now gets behind him. And now I'm interested. Well, if I wasn't interested before, I am now. And certainly for anybody else that just might have tuned in. 8 ahead of the 41. And how is this going to play out? What was the line back in 2003? These cars are driving terrible. And DW says, no, they're driving good. And what is, in my mind, still the most iconic finish in maybe most iconic to stretch. Obviously, you've got the 79 500. But what is one of the most iconic finishes in the history of NASCAR? Off of turn number 4. They touch. Craven got him. Have you ever? Are we going to have another have you ever tonight? Darlington is special. Darlington is a special racetrack. 9 at the line. A tenth of a second remains. If you know anybody that loves racing and would get a kick out of what this is right now, share the link. Share the YouTube link. Share the Twitch link. 41 to the inside. Belleville is going to make this a show. He goes left. Estes tries to drive down on the 41. He can't touch him. 41 slides away from Toby Estes. Belleville to the lead and another blink from the target Dodge. Toby Estes 4/10 behind him, and Belleville just sails away. He just sails away from Toby Estes, and that might be the closest Estes gets to Belleville again. Toby Estes ain't done. 7/10 is the gap, and he wants to get closer. Riley Wright running in 3rd. Matt Seeger running in 7th. 1 lap off the pace, praying for that caution to come out. And honestly, I hope the caution comes out as well. I would love to see these guys shoot it out again. Just come down, see what they can fix up, get fresh tires, and really go for it. Of course, we're not... I hope if it comes out now, it's going to look really bad. I honestly hope that the caution does not come out for not ruining the hard work that these guys have put in over the last hour. But just not to ruin what's going on with the championship and everything else. And I just think Toby just doesn't have it. I think the damage on the right front corner of his car has just ruined it. Richie Catania is now catching up, and talk about a nostalgic sight. You see these two famous race cars driving behind each other, and I'm pretty sure each one of us has some sort of diecast that looks like one of these cars out here. And before the checkered flag falls, we have to mention the people that support us. I'm going to put their link in the chats here. Drip Diecast and Collectibles. If you haven't heard me mention it before, they are our sponsors. They keep us going week in and week out. They are your number one eBay and Facebook store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. If you love paint schemes like the 41, the 8, who doesn't love the Goodwrench Chevrolet that Kevin Harvick drove? Thomas Andrews in the world famous Blue Deuce. Check out Drip Diecast and Collectibles one more time in the chat for you. There's the eBay link. It is your number one online store for all sorts of diecast. Drip Diecast and Collectibles, your number one store for NASCAR diecast and memorabilia. It's not too late to get a present for the holidays. Somebody please get Colin McDonough some Bondo and speed tape to fix up the right-hand side of that car. But if you love NASCAR, if you just love racing, if you want a piece of NASCAR history, if you just want a diecast for yourself or for somebody you love, it doesn't matter. This is the perfect time. Check out Drip Diecast and Collectibles. At the very least, just check out the catalog. See what they have to offer. Just check out the people that support us. Go to their website, see what they have, and if they have something you like, pick it up. They have kept us going for an incredibly long time, and without them and the fans, you watching, this just isn't possible. In one way or another. It's been the patronage of the people at Drip Diecast that has kept us going for 9 seasons. As the white flag waves over season 9, Noah Belleville with a 2.5-second gap now comes up on Nick Pressey, who is going to give it a huge slide out of turn number 2. Pressey almost gets into the 41. Nick Pressey needs to calm down. He's almost wrecking his own race car. Noah Belleville will survive Pressey in the wall. Hopefully Toby Estes does the same. The champion comes off turn number 4, and it's an 11th win and an astonishing season for Noah Belleville. The man from DeSoto, Missouri wins race number 16. He puts the nail in the season 9 coffin. Winner, champion, record breaker. Unbelievable. Florida's Richie Catania will come by, give him a great little sign of appreciation. Toby Estes in second, Briley Wright in third. Unofficially, Briley's going to finish third in the championship standings. Toby Estes gives his 2 cents. He says his piece, and now the man they call Moldy Muskrat, if you will, Noah Belleville, is going to celebrate in car 41. And he'll continue to burn it down, maybe all the way around the track. Who knows? But he's celebrating. We're going to celebrate with him in just a moment, fans. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have Noah. We're going to have Toby. We're going to have Briley on the final Season 9 podium. We'll say some sweet words, and we'll call it a night. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a minute. on the podium with the final top three of Season 9, starting with the man in the 2-9 car, Mr. Briley Wright, coming home in the third position. And Briley, third and unofficially third in the championship as well. Great drive, though. Great race. Awesome battling all night long.
I'm pretty disappointed at the end of that one. Every time we come to Darlington, I always try to play the long game, and that's kind of what I was doing. I was able to keep up with Noah there at the end of that first run. Um, I just the '94 car, it does a really good job of trying to block people, and it's frustrating whenever you let people go and then they just won't give that back to you. Um, Second run, knew I had to stay with Moldy. I gave up a lot of time on pit road. He got a gap, but I was able to kind of close up on it a little bit. Got behind the 94 again, and I couldn't figure out which way he was going. Ended up, I caused a caution that I didn't need at all. And just from that point on, it just felt like nothing went my way. I kept hitting the wall, couldn't get it figured out, but I thought I had something to get the win tonight, and it sucks to come short again.
Brilliant drive either way. It unofficially again at third in the standings, and hopefully the racing's not over for 2024. Hopefully we see you Tuesday night at Auto Club as well. Haven't mentioned that IndyCar race at all, but honestly, man, no, chin up. It was a great drive, and when you're going against guys like Toby and Noah, it's impossible almost impossible to get up there. So congratulations on third. We're gonna see you Tuesday night. Let's talk to the man that finished second tonight. Toby, a part-time season for you, but in the last race of the season, you showed out, man. You did your thing.
Yeah, I did my best. First, when the sun was up, I was great. Had a very good long run car. And then after the sun went down, I have no idea what happened, but my right front was completely gone. So if I could have figured that out whenever the sun went down, I'd have been fine. But either way, I felt like me, Noah, and Briley had some pretty good battles there on the racetrack. So with a part-time schedule, like you said, I'm happy to finish a race at all, especially the last one of the season. So
Season 10, approximately 6 weeks away. We haven't discussed the schedule at all. We have decided absolutely nothing about it, but I know you're part of that conversation as well with a couple other guys, man. So still, always a pleasure to have you, man. Congratulations on second, and hopefully this isn't the end of racing for you in 2024. We'll see you soon. Hopefully we see you Tuesday night.
Yep, I appreciate it, Rick.
All right, let's get this over with. The man who has won absolutely everything, and what more can we give you that you don't already have, Noah Belleville? 11 wins on the season, a Thursday Night Thunder championship, beating Toby Estes. Man, honestly, there really isn't anything more that can be said. Great race tonight, great season. What more really can be done?
I don't know, but my internet tried to give it away. I don't know if you saw it, but
Oh, we saw it, yeah.
On lap 106, I went into turn 3, my screen froze, and then I was back to turn 2.
That's literally it.
It teleported me backwards. I don't know how in the world that happened. I thought my thing crashed, but that was crazy. I have never had that happen before. But yeah, so then I had to get back after it and pass Toby, but yeah, like Toby was saying, he was really fast at the start, and I learned pretty quickly that tire saving was going to matter. So I had to make an adjustment after that first pit stop to get some more tread on my right front tire at the end of these runs. And I felt like I did a pretty good job at that. And I got the win, so I'm happy.
Grandma Jeannie in the house. I think your dad came by in the chat earlier, gave you some congratulations earlier, and just as you crossed the line as well. And you know, it goes without saying, man, everybody at Thursday Night Thunder is they're stoked for you, man. We're happy for this win, for the championship. We're happy because you're going to be leaving. We're happy because you're going on to school. And you're going to be doing amazing things for yourself and with music as well. No, just, dude, an unbelievable season. One hell of an accomplishment. And as much crap as we give you, I'm sure you'll hear in the broadcast later on, man. We're incredibly proud of you, and we're incredibly proud of this season, man. So please take all the accolades and congratulations you can. It's been an unbelievable drive, and you're not done either, man, because we're going to see you Tuesday night at Auto Club, and you're going to try and win another championship, albeit far less prestigious, but the Winter Indy Championship. You've got one hand on the title already.
Yeah, no, I mean, thanks for the season, man. It's been long. It's been a long season. This is my first time making all 16 races, and these guys who just show up every season to all 16 are crazy, because Jesus, man, it takes a lot to find the schedule to make every single race, and for me to have it go that well, that was pretty sweet. So it's nice to finally get a championship. Took me 4 years, but I finally got it, and yeah, gonna try and get 2 on Tuesday.
I'm looking forward to it, man. IndyCars and Auto Club is a riot. It's gonna be unbelievable, man. But just what a season. What an accomplishment for you. So just for what it's worth, congratulations, man. We'll see you Tuesday night.
Yep, thank you.
Fans at home, that puts the lid on the whole season. 16 races, complete. One champion, and at the beginning of it all, it sounded like Noah Belleville was going to be the man, and it turned out that he was absolutely the man. August 15 is when we started this race at Homestead, and tonight on December 12, we put a cap to our 9th season, and it sucks. Nobody likes to say goodbye to the racing, but we're all very glad that we get a break, because we put in so much work to make this happen. And we put in time, effort, our own money. Despite having Drip Diecast as a sponsor, we still do fund this out of our own pockets, as well as we are very personally involved with Drip Diecast and collectibles. We from that hard work comes Thursday Night Thunder. We've been doing it since 2020, where we've been lucky enough to spend our Thursday nights just screwing around on our computers, just having fun on iRacing with each other and for each other, and for the love of racing as well, because if we didn't love racing, why in the hell would we sit here in front of our screens with these funny little video game cars in front of us and our extremely expensive equipment, trying to get as close to our dream of being a race car driver as we can? And really, is that not what we're doing? Is that not what we're after? Is just, we love racing, and I don't think there's anybody here that hasn't wanted to be a race car driver since they were a child. We love it. We love each other, we love the friendship, we love the racing, and we love to gather every Thursday night and put on this screwy little show for ourselves and for the people that care about us. And another season's in the books. Another season of mistakes on the broadcast, another season of getting excited and watching new names and making new friends, actually meeting new faces. As every year we go to a racetrack, we hang out, we meet each other, we meet the person behind the screen. It's pretty special. It's special for us, and it's special that we get to share this with you as well, because we can only share this so many times with each other, but when the people we care about come to watch this with us, it's special that we get to share our passion with them too. So thank you for sharing our passion for 9 seasons, for what will be 4 complete years, our 5th year of racing. We'll start next spring, and the 10th season of Thursday Night Thunder comes late January 2025. 6 weeks isn't really that much time. And it's not going to be the end of racing here, because, again, we've got that IndyCar race Tuesday night right here on Rick James TV. So I really hope you're going to tune in for that. I know you're going to tune in for the beginning of Season 10. We're going to have new names, more rookies to impress us, like Colin McDonough, Chris Fleming, who came away with 2 wins this season. It's going to be a lot of fun. Matt Seeger's going to be in his 3rd year. Maybe he'll learn to attack pit lane and he'll win a race or 2. There is a win coming for Matt Seeger. I know there is. Everybody knows there is. And when it happens, I promise you the celebration is going to be probably as big as Cody Riggs when he finally got his first win as well. We become friends. We share these relationships, and we love to celebrate each other's successes. It's part of the fun. And we're glad that you could be here to share that with us too. So for everybody that's ever been involved for Thursday Night Thunder, and most importantly for everybody that's ever watched a single corner of racing, thank you so much. And until that next race, stay safe, take care of each other, and we'll see you all